With everyone working from pretty much everywhere these days, giving your team secure, solid access to your company's network isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's an absolute must-have. But how do you pull that off with the tools you've already got? Well, we're going to answer that by diving deep into Windows Remote Access Services.
And that right there is the million-dollar question every IT pro is wrestling with. You've got to get your remote users connected, but at the same time, you've got to keep your network locked down tight and easy to manage. That's the exact puzzle we're going to solve in this explainer.
So here's the game plan. We'll kick things off by understanding the core tech. Then we'll put the two big players head-to-head, VPN and Direct Access. After that, we'll look at a high-level setup guide, cover how to keep an eye on everything and lock it down, and finally, help you figure out the best path for your own organization.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Before we can start comparing our options, we need to get the basics down. This first section is all about the foundational technologies that are built right into Windows Server for remote access.
So what in the world are Remote Access Services, or RAS? Think of it this way. It's a built-in feature in Windows Server that bundles together a few key technologies. Its whole job is to act as a secure gateway, connecting your remote users to your private company network. So when you open up this RAS toolbox, you'll find three main tools inside. You've got the classic VPN, the always-on Direct Access, and some powerful routing and NAT services for directing traffic. For our purposes today, we're going to zero in on those first two.
And that brings us to the big showdown. This is the central decision you're probably going to have to make. Now that we know what's in the toolbox, it's time to figure out which tool is the right one for the job. This is where we compare VPN versus Direct Access.
Okay, let's break this down. On one side, you've got VPN. It's the classic approach, right? Your user decides when to connect, they click a button, and they're in. It works on pretty much any device out there. Then you have Direct Access, a totally different beast. It's seamless, it's automatic, it's always on. But here's the catch. It's specifically designed for your company-managed, domain-joined Windows machines. And if we dig a little deeper, you can really see the differences in what you'll need. A VPN setup is, generally speaking, simpler to get going. Direct Access, on the other hand, is a lot more involved. It needs a really solid Active Directory, DNS, and group policy setup, and it's built on IPv6. So this is a huge point. Your current infrastructure is really going to influence which path is more practical for you. One of the best things about VPN is just how flexible it is, and that really comes down to the different protocols it can use. If your users are stuck behind a tricky firewall at a hotel, SSTP is your best friend because it uses the same port as secure websites. For users who are constantly on the move, IKV2 is fantastic because it handles network changes without dropping the connection. That adaptability is a huge win for the traditional VPN.
All right, decision time's over. Let's say you've picked your path. Now what? How do you actually get this thing up and running? In this section, we're going to walk through a high-level blueprint for getting it done. Don't worry, this isn't a super deep tutorial, but it'll give you a clear map of the process.
If you've spent any time at all in Windows Server, this is going to look super familiar. You just pop open Server Manager, kick off the Add Roles and Features wizard, and the one you're looking for is, you guessed it, Remote Access. The most important part is Step 4, where you pick which services you actually want to install. You can even install both Direct Access and VPN on the very same server.
Now, for all my PowerShell people out there, check this out. You can totally skip all that clicking around in the wizard and get the exact same result with just a single line of code. This is perfect for automating setups or making this part of a bigger deployment script. It's just clean, fast, and repeatable.
But, getting it installed is really just the beginning. A remote access solution is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. Once you've got users connecting, you have to keep an eye on performance, and most importantly, you have to secure that access. Let's cover the best practices for doing exactly that.
So, how do you keep tabs on all this? Well, you've got a whole bunch of tools at your disposal. The Remote Access Management Console is your main dashboard for seeing who's connected. PowerShell is your go-to for pulling stats really quickly. And for the really deep troubleshooting, you've got tools like Performance Monitor and even Wireshark to analyze the actual network traffic. Okay, let's talk security, because this part is absolutely critical. Think about it. A remote access point is literally a door into your network, and you have to guard it. If you do nothing else, use strong authentication. We're talking multi-factor authentication here. Beyond that, it's about good habits. Keep your certificates and servers up to date, turn on detailed logging, and be really careful with policies like split tunneling, which decides if users can go straight to the internet while they're connected to your VPN.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground, so let's bring it all together and answer that big question from the beginning. How do you pick the right path for you? This last section is all about matching the right tool to the right task.
And this table pretty much says it all, doesn't it? The choice gets a whole lot clearer when you look at the job you need done. Got a mix of users on all kinds of devices, maybe even their own personal computers? A VPN is going to be your flexible workhorse. But what if you manage a fleet of company-owned Windows laptops and you want that seamless "it just works" experience? Man, Direct Access was made for you. It's all about matching the tool to the job.
So, I'll leave you with this final question to think about. The way we all work is changing constantly. So the real question isn't just about what works today, but about what's going to provide the security, the flexibility, and the user experience your company needs tomorrow. Which strategy is truly going to future-proof your network?